Yup, that's me. And for the next 30 days, I'm replacing all the meat in my diet with 23.9 pounds of bugs. Why? Because everywhere you look, we're being told that bugs are the future of food.
We face an emergency situation.
And time is running out.
But we can still fix this. You can still fix this.
If we want to save the planet, we need to change what we put on the table.
The emission of greenhouse gas is 100-fold lower with insects than with cattle.
They're one of the most nutritionally dense foods on the entire planet. They have over double the protein versus beef, more calcium than milk, and more omegas and B12 vitamins than wild salmon.
Only 44% of a cow can be consumed. How much of a mealworm is edible? All of it.
Despite billionaires and governments pouring in millions of dollars into factory farming them, there hasn't been a single clinical study on what happens when you actually eat them for a consistent period of time. So, I did one myself, and I filmed everything. And little did I know that this was going to become one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my entire life. All right, so before I dive into it, we're gonna set up some ground rules, okay? This is the USDA approved food pyramid. We got a lot of bread, cereal, rice, pasta on the bottom. We got fruits, we got meats, we got milks, and we got fats. The immediate one to get rid of right here is the meats. So we'll scratch those out. Won't need any more cruelty on this diet. Second thing, we are not gonna do any milk, yogurt, or cheese because those are just cruelty byproducts. We're actually getting rid of some of the wheat and the carbohydrates because I think the temptation to just eat chips or pasta instead of having bugs is pretty high. So we got bugs, 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 and more bugs. Half my calories starting tomorrow. I'm gonna go get a blood test as well. Okay, so they're taking all my relevant vitals, testosterone levels, blood sugar levels, all that stuff. We're gonna come back here in about 30 days. We got the bugs. Got roasted crickets right here. We have pumpkin spice flavored roasted crickets. I'm actually kind of excited to try these ones, not gonna lie. We have culinary grade
Black ants.
mezcal worms as well. So we got the stuff they put in the tequila. Kind of smell a little bit weird. There's no nutrition facts on here. That's a little bit suspicious. I guess I gotta start somewhere. All right, I guess we start. They kind of just taste like nothing, honestly. They don't taste gross. They look gross, but they don't taste that gross. And it kind of remind me of corn chips, honestly. They kind of make your fingers a little bit dusty. Yeah, if it was just crickets, I'd probably die. So I have to supplement it with some plants, maybe the same stuff that my rabbits eat. So egg is pretty important to me, but it's not plant-based, so I gotta get fake egg. The first thing I noticed is this meat-free diet was getting a lot more expensive than I thought it was initially going to be. This 500 grams of plant-based egg is like $11. Tetrasodium, pyrophosphate, salt, gallon gum, carotene, niacin, maltodextrin, trans-glutamine. We might not be able to understand or like pronounce some of the ingredients on here, but the people who created these products know what they're doing, and that's why they're using these complex ingredients so that they can just make sure that the alternatives that we're eating are also good for us. Plant-based Parmesan, completely cruelty-free. Oh, here we go. We got some plant-based yogurt called Yogu. This bag is probably already like $150, but that's okay. You know, this is heavy for me today, but I'm telling you, once I get jacked off this diet, you're gonna see me lifting like 10 milk jugs. Okay, real talk. I need to explain you a little bit more about why the f I willingly ate bugs for 30 days. No, it wasn't just for views, but if you could subscribe, it would really help me pay for therapy. I've always had a weird relationship with food. Up until I was 12, my parents insisted that I live on a fully vegetarian diet, probably after binging one too many factory farming documentaries narrated by a guy with a British accent who sounds just disappointed enough to make you feel guilty.
That's what's going to happen to you if you live on nothing but leaves.
But after a diet of carbs, soy Frankenstein recreations of hot dogs, and whatever's left fermenting on the dollar store shelves, they finally decided to let me start eating some protein. And because of that, I've always been hyper aware of the narratives around what people should be eating. So when I started noticing these memes about the World Economic Forum pushing bugs as the future of food, I thought,
The globalists, I want their throats!
But then I dug deeper. Within an hour, I found a flood of celebrity endorsements.
These are exquisite.
Government-funded bug factories, and even direct investments from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It seemed like there was some science behind these things. Yet even with millions poured into these bugs, there's almost zero research on what happens when you regularly eat them. The University of Copenhagen sponsored one clinical study in late 2022, but over a year later, there are still no conclusive results. But if half the animal kingdom already eats bugs, as do apparently 2 billion other people across the planet, how bad could it be? Bad could it be? Bad could it be?
Thank you for enabling this initiative to make the world more sustainable.
What is this? This looks like I could make cocoa with this. What is?
This is a powder derived from the mealworm, a insect protein.
I could put this in a smoothie or something?
Man, I wouldn't play you, bro.
And when trying these new bug-based foods, it's definitely no secret that they taste as good than their original counterparts.
What do you think of this? No, they don't like the smell of that.
My friend's trying the bugs.
Ah, here we go.
I'm convinced.
You have to try the bugs. Okay, so Makiko just told me that she saw an ant crawling in my container of roasted crickets. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. Oh, there's a little fucker right there. It's not an ant. That looks like a beetle.
He's coming for you.
We're gonna call him Mr. Schwab.
There's an entire industry growing around taking the foods we already eat and reformulating them to where bugs are now intentionally a main ingredient.
Not crunchy peanut butter. There you go.
There you go.
Look at that.
Hi there. My name is Jeff. I had a family.
Bug-based quesadillas are pretty damn tasty.
Checkmate, red meat eaters, your ground beef or whatever, which is killing the planet's natural resources, is officially ranked lower on the nutrition scale than Lucky freaking Charms. Ground beef is about almost twice as unhealthy on this scale than Lucky Charms. It's so much better for the planet. You guys gotta get with the program.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, don't care what you want, you will eat the bugs.
Day 5. Whole lot of crickets in here. I gotta be honest with you guys. The thing that is killing me right now is this plant-based diet. I've been trying to have like egg-based alternatives and cheese-based alternatives. They are odd texturally, but I don't think that they're good for you. Like, let me just get one for you real quick. So this is one of the things I've been having because I'm just really used to having eggs in the morning. The ingredients are water, mung bean protein, expeller pressed canola oil, plant-based smoked salmon, carrots, because carrots taste like salmon, I guess. Sugar, maple syrup, okay. Sunflower oil, flaxseed oil. These things are just like, they're just predominantly like oil-based foods. But yeah, they have basically no protein in them. They have the fats. That's how they replicate, I guess, the texture of these fatty, you know, animal-based foods that I can't seem to eat anymore. I think for the next few days, I'm gonna just stick to eating the crickets. I'm gonna have to crush them up and put them into a powder or something, just because like, I just cannot eat handful after handful of these things. In order to get the protein that I need, which is about 200 grams a day, I would have to eat almost a pound of crickets a day, and I just can't do it in that current form.
Okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? Just eat the fucking crickets, man. Come on.
I did a leg workout about 6 days ago, and my quads are still burning from it, and it wasn't even the craziest leg workout I've ever done. I'm actually even holding a hard time holding up this camera right now. Alright, what do you guys think of this cricket diet? Does it make my breath smell bad? These guys are pretty much on the same diet as me. They're all plant-based, minus the crickets. And they're doing pretty well, so I should be doing pretty well. You would think. Canola is a made-up name. There is no such thing as the canola plant. It is rapeseed. It's rapeseed oil. They just thought, obviously, maybe that wasn't the most attractive name, and so they called it canola because most of it was primarily grown in Canada and ola oil, and that's essentially how the name canola oil came about. The problem is that in the 1930s, canola oil was used as an industrial plant. The oil was used kind of in industrial things, lubricants. Canadian scientists had just fields of these things all across the country, and they wanted to turn it into something a little bit more edible. They created this new process through expellers to remove, number one, the bitter taste to it, but also make it human digestible. And even more, our favorite buddies over at Monsanto ended up genetically modifying the rapeseed plant so that it would produce this stuff to be resistant to Roundup for weed control. So to produce the oil, the plant seeds are crushed and then heated. This exposure to high temperatures damages the heat-sensitive polyunsaturated fats, resulting in the oxidation of the oil. The oil is also subject to chemical solvents like hexane to extract the oil from this crushing process. They did a study in Temple University where they fed mice canola oil for 5 days. They had a control group and they had the one that was fed canola oil. And the mice that were fed canola oil gained about 1/5 of their starting body weight in just 6 months. So it would be the equivalent of a 100-pound human being growing 20 pounds in just 6 months by having a majority of their calories coming from canola oil. There were also signs of cognitive impairment within those mice. They were not able to have as much memory. Their problem-solving capacity was way worse than the control group. In fact, the canola oil-fed mice performed substantially worse on all tests across the board when compared to the control subjects, which, all things equal, kind of explain why for the last week I have had the most brain fog I have ever had in my entire life. It has been insufferable to do everything from writing to getting out of bed. It's wrecking me, and I got another 22 days of this left. I can't be feeling this wrecked in the first few. I think I probably should have consulted a doctor before doing this. So I don't know. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe I can call one up. Nope, can't do that because I'm on year 3 on a wait list for a family doctor in Canada. Anyways, let's not focus on the negative. If I'm gonna survive the next 21 days, I have to make this diet work on the go, no matter where my job is each day. Airports, photo shoots, weddings, because nothing quite says professional like sneaking crickets down your gullet between takes. How you guys feeling?
Amazing. So good.
Dope.
I was on the cricket diet for like 2 months before this to fit in my dress.
There we go. There we go. That's the plan. As soon as I'm done this, I'm gonna get married. I'll finally fit into a nice blazer like that too. We are going to Los Angeles tomorrow in about 7 hours. And I realized that when in LA, you get In-N-Out Burger. And unfortunately, I can't eat In-N-Out Burger because I'm eating crickets. I'm gonna make roasted cricket patties and we're gonna see if they turn out any good here. So a solid half cup of crickets. Now I know that there's some vegans probably watching this and they're like, doing it all wrong. Veganism is good, there's good recipes. Show me, brother. I flew all the way from Vancouver, 1,800 kilometers, to put this cricket patty inside of an In-N-Out Burger to see if it would be an acceptable substitute. This is the world's first bug burger at In-N-Out. Let's see. It's not great, but it's not bad. Is this what vegans have to deal with on a regular basis? Now, there was actually one hidden perk to this bug diet, and that's losing 6 pounds in 15 days. The question I had was, how much of that was muscle? Quick workout snack. Gotta have the protein. How much would someone have to pay you to get rid of all the meat in your diet and replace it with crickets? These are crickets. Yeah, tell me what you think. You want more? Yep. It's the way. Cricket ice cream. Oh my God, he really loves them. Whoa. They can taste that I'm turning into a bug. I am becoming one with them. All right, so I'm a little over halfway through, and if only I knew what was going to happen to me 4 weeks from now. This is the second round of antibiotics I've had to have in the last 14 days. I probably wouldn't be letting my friends taste test the bugs.
First time ever having crickets.
Down the hatchet.
They kind of taste like Rice Krispies.
It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Yeah, nutty's a good word, like kind of like a non-salted nut.
With such a low carbon footprint, eating bugs can literally save the planet.
It's not real food.
Bro, I'm saving the planet.
You look like an idiot.
My cricket's taking a little swim here.
That can't feel good.
Good morning. It is day 20 of the bug diet. How am I feeling? I'm feeling okay. Not feeling good right now. Chest is like pounding. I tried doing a little bit of lawn work yesterday and definitely ran out of energy pretty quickly. It just feels like my body is not holding on to the energy that I'm supplementing it. I've definitely upped the amount of coffee that I've been drinking lately. I've had to have about probably 4 cups during the day. I don't think I've ever had that much coffee on a regular basis in my life. Is kind of killing that little part of me that likes to cook and experiment and enjoy food. Definitely missing meat though. Man, it's been a very long time without having a steak. 5 days left, and just enough time to drag my ex-vegetarian parents into this nightmare with me. I'm with my parents here. All right.
Not bad at all.
Now the question is would you replace all the meat for this?
Never.
Our latest Halloween spice.
Yo. These are actually kind of decent. The end of the 30-day challenge lined up quite well with the trip I had planned to Japan, a place where eating bugs was actually a long-time tradition rather than some artificial phenomena subsidized by governments and bored billionaires. All right, this is day 29. It's almost over. 1 day left. And on the last day, we're gonna have Wagyu to break this streak of self-mutilation through diet. I'm so sorry, Japan. I have to. I'm very, very sorry, Japan.
Sumimasen.
Sumimasen. Sumimasen. I don't think the bags in my eyes have looked any darker. I can't exactly explain what's going on here. There's obviously some type of nutritional deficiency. The diet I've been eating has consisted of crickets, carrots, broccoli, rice, really, supposedly nutrition-rich things, lentils, all things that are staples on the vegan diet. I have never felt worse in my life. My bowel movements have never felt so empty and vacuous. I am now down a whopping 9 pounds. This was a rough experiment, but I look at all these other fad diets, people tell you that it will save you, and I can't help but think that these are all just mini cults. All diets are sort of just fads to get you to where you want to be quicker, rather than making a long-term lifestyle change. And when you look at the food pyramid, when you look at all the foods they tell us not to eat, foods they tell us not to eat are sometimes the simplest foods out there. And all of a sudden, under that tree in the blistering sun in Japan, I realized something I had been missing for the entire 29 days. Getting bugs into our diet isn't about saving the planet, or the cows, or Bill Gates' investment portfolio. Seriously, that guy would be worth $1.4 trillion right now if he just kept his Microsoft stock and flew off into the sunset instead of hanging out on Epstein Island and trying to make depopulation sound cool.
11 billion people, still a lot, but the good news is the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down.
No, eating the bugs was about something completely different. Governments controlling inflation. Now, I know that might sound like a big leap, but after years of making videos on economics and Bitcoin, it finally dawned on me why I was so interested in pursuing this experiment in the first place. But maybe better than me explaining it, I'll let the author of the book Fiat Food break it down.
I think that people at first are going to laugh at your concept, but 15 years from now, you'll sound like a prophet. Governments have long understood that when food prices go too high, political instability always follows, without exception. Just look at Sri Lanka in 2022. or the 12,500 food and energy-related riots in Europe that occurred in 2022, according to Washington University. When Nixon decoupled from gold in 1971 on August 15th, they were terrified of this. Instead of coming clean to the American people and saying, look, we're not gonna be able to eat like we used to. Food is gonna go, the cost of food is gonna skyrocket. Instead, they shifted the food supply. And you see this done very meticulously from 1970, when Americans ate on average 155 pounds of red meat, to now, when that's been cut in half. What's happened over the past 50 years is we've been psyoped into believing that the food our ancestors ate that gave them the nutrients to thrive and evolve is somehow a fad, while the packaged bullshit chemical industrial waste slop, that's virtuous. Right?
No sugar added, more electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Our sour strips have 80% less sugar, and I think they taste even better.
30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar.
This plant-based meat is not only amazingly delicious, but it's also better for you and better for the planet.
We wonder why everybody has cancer and is sick and fat. Everybody's eating Crisco. Everybody's eating seed oils. Everybody's telling you it's a vegetable oil and it's healthy. We've normalized shit and toxins into our food system, and you can mass produce bugs like you can mass produce corn. Like, you don't notice inflation if you're eating crickets or Doritos. You notice it if you're eating the eggs.
Well, egg prices continue rising, if you haven't noticed.
Egg prices are now more expensive than at any point in the last decade.
The last election was all about the price of eggs.
The government doesn't want us unhappy. They're not trying to make us sick, but they are trying to stay in power, of course. Making us feel like we have an abundant food supply is of grave, grave concern to all these people.
There's so much more to this rabbit hole, much more than I can fit into a 30-minute YouTube video, so I highly recommend picking up Matthew's book. But as it comes to me, my 30 days were finally up. And before the incredibly bad news that came after, there was one little bit of celebrating I had to do first. And no better place to do it in.
All right, we did it, guys. 30 days of self-torture. We're gonna have some Wagyu here. For the first time, I've never had Wagyu in my life. We're gonna eat red meat, some real fucking human beings that are not compromised by the World Economic Forum. I'm so excited, finally. I get to eat the real food. Let's go, let's go. That's not gonna change the fact that I am still gonna do this, you know?
Wagyu skirt steak.
You gotta do those quick. First taste of Wagyu right here.
So we need to change cows, just cows alone.
Oh, that's so juicy.
How dare you? How dare you?
We must continue to fight to achieve more sustainable development.
Klaus Schwab, if you want to take away my beef, you're gonna have to pry it out of my cold, dead hands. Oh, it's so good. I fucked up, guys. I fucked up in a big way, I think. I got back from Japan about a week ago. Right as I got back, I started to get stomach cramps and, you know, not good digestion. And I thought, okay, it's probably from maybe something I ate in Japan. But it's been consistent now for about 2 weeks. Turns out, I guess I might have a parasite. To get that sampled shortly. It took a dark turn. You know, I had kind of like my thoughts all wrapped up in a bubble at the end of those 30 days, and I was ready to kind of like monologue about all that stuff. All of the things that I consumed were approved by health agencies in both Canada and America. But ultimately, I ate the equivalent of a vegan diet with crickets supplementing the protein, and a lot of it wasn't even pure crickets. I had like tons of just protein powder, which actually doesn't even have the chitin fiber in it. It's been just an awful last few weeks. I am gonna be taking antibiotics soon. You know, they'll ultimately assess what it is that I actually have. We're gonna go get a sample of my poop. That's what we're gonna do in short form.
This fucking sucks, dude. This is what you get for eating bugs. Hilariously enough, it was actually called Cryptosporidium. Can you imagine my fucking luck? Cryptosporidium. I don't know why I'm surprised about that. People warned me about this in the comment section. I think I got a little bit arrogant in the beginning of it, and I thought, this will be fine, you know? These right-wing conspiracy nuts are kind of overdoing it on the bug stuff.
You will eat the bugs. You will live in the pod. You will own nothing and be happy. They mean that.
What did I ultimately learn from this whole 30 plus a bunch of bonus days experience? I think I learned two big lessons. They won't feed you the bugs like I ate them. They're not gonna be in convenient portion packages. The way that you and I are gonna be consuming crickets, God forbid, is that they're gonna sneak it into absolutely everything. This stuff's gonna be everywhere, and they're gonna sell it as a healthy alternative to meat. What essentially happened to me is I speed ran the slow degradation of what happens when you eat foods that are not native to our bodies, that are not things that we can naturally consume. And henceforth, I got an infection in record amounts of time. When you end up in my position, having to go find healthcare, you're gonna get stuck. You're gonna get stuck waiting months or years to see a doctor, or you're gonna pay an outrageous amount in insurance bills to see someone for priority. You're gonna pay a 95% profit margin to some pharmaceutical company that makes the right antibiotics for you to get over your stomach infection. And it's a vicious cycle. You're not gonna have that sort of luck when they start putting this stuff in everything, and they already are. Our ingredient labels are chocked to the brim of stuff that we have absolutely no idea where it originates from, and we have no idea what the long-term health consequences are for it. It's easy for them to do a short-term study that says this stuff's good to consume, have it in your diet, and it's easy for them to hire a celebrity to push this stuff and put their name on it. It's easy for governments to endorse this into a food pyramid, but you cannot escape the long-term consequences of it. And I hope, as stupid and ridiculous as this video has been, I hope that there's a lesson in there. This stuff is coming. The economics of it will make sense eventually, for governments to use it as a way to curb inflation. And that's essentially where this whole video culminates. I kind of went into this thing trying to be curious and, you know, kind of like tongue-in-cheek style, one of those YouTube 30-day challenges, but I have come out completely changed by it. You know, I used to think that all this taking care of your body and health maxing, it came from a place of ego. It came from a place of, I want to live forever. I want to impress people with how good I look. It's not. It took me a while to realize that sometimes taking care of your health has nothing to do with you. Taking care of your health is ensuring that you can be there selflessly for people in the future as long as humanly possible. It means that you get to spend more time with your children. You'll be able to create things, life-changing inventions. You'll be able to create art. It has so much more to do than how you feel in your stomach or in your arms or in your heart or in your brain in the present. It doesn't matter if you are a multi-billionaire like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, or if you're a janitor. You'll realize at the end of the day, it's not more money you wish you ended up with in life. It's more time. And this food, it robs us of our time. It robs us of our health. We can't let them take that from us. If you enjoyed this video, I certainly didn't quite enjoy it making it. Please like and subscribe. I have a new challenge for the next year. I think this was a massive wake-up call that I don't need to be taking my health so nonchalantly, especially for YouTube. I'm going to use this medium format of videos to challenge myself to get into the best shape of my life before I turn 30. I'm going to get shredded this year. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life this year, the healthiest I've felt. I'm going to optimize my sleep, and we're going to turn this all around. I guarantee it. So stay tuned for more, and don't eat the bugs.
So I think I just figured out how I got this stomach infection. Do you guys remember Lil Klaus Schwab Jr.? Turns out he's been having kids here dropping larvae in these cricket carcasses. We got 1, 2, 3. There's got to be at least 100 in here. What the